It's funny, something that my husband always says. He always says good sex covers a multitude of sins. Nookie covers a multitude of sins. When people right then, ladies, so let's get into compatibility. So our first quote says, in many families, there is not that Christian politeness, that true courtesy, deference and respect for one another that would prepare its members to marry and make happy families of their own. In the place of patience, kindness, tender courtesy and Christian sympathy and love, there are sharp words, clashing ideas, and a criticizing dictatorial spirit. All right, so as we can see here, I just want to pay attention to what she says here about that would prepare its members to marry and make happy families. Now, obviously, we can't help the upbringing that we've had. We've already had it. We're big people now. But what we can do as parents, right, is prepare our children. That's why it's important to be in the Word, to read books, to watch the content on marriage and family and see how to do better, because all of us are coming to this thing with baggage, with our issues, right? And there are things to be aware of. If my husband and I don't cultivate a certain atmosphere now, then we won't be training our girls to marry and go on to make happy families. So I would love to see more happy families. I would love to change the generations that are going to come after me, right? So as she says here, the patience, kindness, tender courtesy, all these things are the fruit of the Spirit. Lord, come into my life. Help me to change. Oh, I've got a quick tongue, Lord. Please help me to be more patient. All of these types of things. Sometimes people say, oh, I don't know what to pray. I don't know what to say. Be real with God. Tell him your struggles and let him know how much you need him in all of the little things, right? Not just the big things. Oh, Lord, I want a house. I want a car. You know what I mean? Sometimes, you know, in church culture, well, just my experience, when we have testimony time, a lot of time you see where people say, oh, I got a new job. I got a new car and da-da-da. Seldom do you hear people say, do you know what? I had a quick temper and God gave me victory. You know, I was lacking patience and God gave me victory. These are the things that we need to cultivate, the fruits of the Spirit. Okay. Quote number 2. Those who are not willing to adapt themselves to each other's disposition so as to avoid unpleasant differences and contentions should not take the step. So basically, if you're a person who doesn't like confrontation, then maybe marriage is not for you, because at some point a confrontation is going to need to be had. And when I say confrontation, maybe that sounds a bit aggressive. What I mean is you need to be willing to have some conversations, right? You need to be willing to say, oh, am I ready to deal with this person and all of their everything, their personality, whatever it may be. But you also have to be willing to have those conversations. Mature adults know how to have conversations about character without it turning into a thing. We can have conversations, right? Okay. Now, this part here, she refers to blind love. With many, the crisis of disease is reached in an immature marriage. And when the novelty is past and the bewitching power of love making is over, one or both parties awake to their true situation. They then find themselves ill-mated but untied for life. It's funny, something that my husband always says. He always says good sex covers a multitude of sins. Nookie covers a multitude of sins. When people are having sex, it's like they look past a lot of problems, you know, and this is why the Bible encourages as well to wait until marriage. Yes, we know fornication can be addictive. The temptation is high, right? But this is why it's a good reason to wait until marriage, because when you start to sleep with someone, all those character flaws you ignore because you're getting loved down. I was about to say a different word, but we can keep it above. Because you're getting loved down, you're not necessarily thinking, oh, actually, I seen how he talks to his mum, you know. Oh, actually, I saw how he talked to his boss. Oh, You know, you think, oh, I saw how he talks to his boss, but it's real life, you know. So she says the bewitching power of love. My husband says nookie. We know the deal. We know what it is. So if you're not married, then this chapter's for you. Think about the compatibility. Think about their personality. Think about their character. Are you willing to deal with it? Are you willing to have the conversations? And if you're watching this video and you're fornicating and you believe that the Bible is true, then stop. Ask God to help you to stop sleeping with that person, because you will find yourself in a union just because the sex was good, and anything could happen and you're not having that good sex anymore. Now you got to deal with this person for life. Yeah. All right. Our verse of encouragement is 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. All right then, ladies, so let me know in the comments, what is one thing that you like about your spouse? If you're married and you're watching this, what is one thing you like about your spouse? And what is one thing that you're looking for in marriage? I want to get some more conversation going in the comments. All right then, ladies, bye.